Episode 4. So, going on to the tank body now. And yeah, this was a good place to start a new episode. Control Alt X. On material, put that on. Time to the selection. Make them all black. And we have basically half a tank now, so we're ready to select the body. And we're going to find the button called attach. And for this one, if we click this, we get this list and we could start clicking all the things. And we could do it this way. Because we've named everything, we know exactly what we want. I know I want everything attached apart from the front bumper. But if you haven't been naming stuff, which I bet a good chunk of you haven't, we're going to do it this way. We're just going to click attach. And now we've got this crosshair. Everything we click gets attached. The only thing we're not going to click is this thing, this front bumper, okay? You can see over here, things are disappearing because we're attaching them all to the tank body. The window. We do want that window. Just the only thing that should not be part of the tank body now. So front bumper. And we're going to go into our symmetry. And just work because we've made everything in the correct viewport. And so that's what it's doing. All right. And what we're going to do is going to move the x-axis to 0. And now that puts it right in the middle. And the last thing we're going to do is just go onto Edit Poly, go onto Element Mode, select our window, and click this little Show End Result on or off, right? And now we can see what's happening on our symmetry, even though we're not in our symmetry. Start pulling this out. And this like yellow outline is like what's yellow and orange is where the old mesh before the symmetry is. And we start pulling this out just so we can make this window be as wide as we actually want it. Because you'd think that, like, you know, a driver or passenger is sat here looking out the front of the tank in some little bulletproof small window. And so now that's what we're looking at without symmetry on, and that's with it on. So now we're going to click off. That's what we've got. So this is a tank body totally ready now for you to make whatever turret you want. You could do like rockets on the top. You could do, you know, a normal sort of main battle tank cannon. You could do anti-air sort of machine guns. You could do big rail gun. You could do lasers, whatever you want. Just put it on the top here. But this is definitely a really good base for a low poly tank to receive custom sort of modular weapons on top of it. So I'm going to do just a really basic turret, and this is where I want you to sort of use some of the things that I've taught you here to get creative now. I'm going to do one based off the concept art that we originally started working with on page 1. So, but this is where I'd like to see some creativity from you guys now, okay? You can definitely follow along with the rest of this and have this turret, but add to it, make changes to it. Don't do exactly what I'm doing, you know, but try and keep it in the same aesthetic as the rest of this. Okay. So I'm going to create a 10-sided cylinder, and I'm just going to do this in perspective. That's a sphere. And it's still got 10-sided because that's the last one that we made. 125 radius. 66 high. 2 height segments. 10 sides. Now we're going to go with our move tool. Start typing into here. 0 on the X. -50 on the Y. And 130. And look at that. There we go. So he's in snug now on the top of our tank, not hitting the side detail. And yeah, I think that'll do. Okay. So I'm gonna go on the scale now, and I am going to convert it to an editable poly first, and scale the whole thing. Now, if you look at my x-axis on the bottom, over there, I've just done it to 70. That's 70% basically. And you could also right-click this, type 70. And let's do that to the top as well. So now I'm going to click this top face. And just type in 70. So right click that. In all axes. There we go. So now that's there. It resets to 100 because this is its new scale now. And it doesn't matter about the Z because it has no Z scale. So then the next thing to do is to grab these faces. So Control select all of these. Press W to get our scale tool. Or you can just click there. I mean move tool. Just push these in till they're just not over the vent along the Y axis. And then I'm gonna get this face. And just push that in as well, just to flatten it off a little bit more. And then finally, just because again, we've got a bit of a weird shape there, just bring that in so they're a bit more parallel. So that line and that line. Yeah. You can kind of see now the shape that we've made. In all of these, and that's why I like having these viewports just always visible and working in this way, because you get a large screen space still to work in, but you can also just see what you're making. Right. So again, we've made an N-gon. If we connect this and connect this. And we're going to do the same to the bottom, and it's why X-ray mode is great. We don't need to look underneath it, we can just click them, and we can see we're making those lines at the bottom. Okay, and now we're going to use another new tool. So with our vertex mode on, we're going to look for something called cut. And don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Look at that, cut. And you can see the crosshair changes depending on where I am, and what it lets me do is just cut lines in. And because if I clicked here and clicked here and press connect, it get confused because there's this edge in the way. So, but if I click this one and then go over to this one, now it's cut a new edge in over here. And I want to do the same to this one. This one's a little bit more tricky because if I try to do it like this, and then come over to here. Actually, that might work. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how you do it. So copy my technique. Click over there, rotate it around. Otherwise, you might be going like over the front. You don't want to do something like that. We don't want that shape. We want it on the bottom. So now we've got those new edges in. If you just keep clicking, usually it lets you get it, but let's just move the camera underneath. So I want these edges, okay? And what I'm going to do is delete them. There we go. And next step, get this edge. And get this edge. Yeah. And click bridge. I'm going to get this edge and this edge. Click bridge. I'm going to get this edge and this edge. Click bridge again. Now I've got this, but it's still got some holes in, so I'm going to click border. We haven't used border yet. I'm going to now click that. Most of the time, the only thing you'll ever do with border, press cap. And cap. There we go. Alright. Now if you have a look at this with the edges off, see there's like some really weird smoothing, and we'll fix that in a little bit, but we got the shape correct, right? But the first thing I'm going to do, just get these two faces, align them by the X, align these by the X, so because they're like at a weird angle, and like we want them nice and flat like that. Then this one by the Y. I don't think we do, but I'm going to. You know what? No, ignore me. Don't do that. Keep it like that. So Control Z, you know, just go back if you followed me along there. Just reading through the tutorial, making sure that I'm doing it all right. So what we are going to do, select all of the faces, change the auto smooth in the polygon smoothing groups to 1 degree, and then click auto smooth. Now everything gets its own smoothing group, so we get those nice hard edges because it's, you know, this mechanical metal thing. We want it to have like nice hard edges. And done all of that, and I'm going to loop select all of these by just double clicking these edges and scale them in to 92%, so scaled them down 8%. Okay, so we get that sort of shape a little. And what we're going to do then, kind of looks a bit silly at the front, I think. So I'm going to grab those, just pull them forward a bit, just so it looks a bit more angular and aggressive. You can see it there. Next. Also gonna, with these, drop it down just real slightly. That. And at this top. This is another one, biangle. It's gonna select all of these because they're under 45-degree difference, but if you just do like something real small, like 10, everything within 10 degrees. Apparently that one is as well. Let's just do 1. We need to ignore back facing as well. There we go. That's a quick way for selecting groups of faces as well. Or you can just do the old Control Selector row and drop that down just again a little bit. Make it look a little less chunky. Bring right then. Minutes, alright, cool. Right, so this create a box fits in here. Doesn't need to be precise, just needs to I did that in the front viewport. And then just position it on 0 on the X. And now make sure that it's in here. And you can copy my values if you want, but again, this bit is a little bit freer for you guys to do what you want with, hopefully. But that's what I'm gonna have. Yeah, so this box just in here like that. I'm gonna convert it to an editable poly. I'm gonna click this edge and I'm gonna chamfer it with the settings button. And I'm also going to control select this one as well, so we're doing both. And let's see, did I do 7.5? I did that. 7.5. Shift, click. There we go. Right. Now we got something for, like, imagine that's like for the up and down rotation of the turret. And yeah, if your verts don't reach the bottom, so again, show you exactly what I'm selecting if I use X-ray mode. So I want those ones, and I just want to put them down so in line with the bottom of, well, the top of the tank body. And to be honest, don't need that face. I'm never going to see it. Because that's what we see. Okay. So what's next? You know what else we don't need, and I haven't done. That one. That face, and this back face. They can all go away. There we go. That was before the chamfer. If sorry for skipping ahead there, but there we go. So now we got only the shapes that we need, and I'm gonna see. What's next? Yeah, the lighting outside has changed a lot, and it's destroyed the green screen. I've got no eyes. Great. Right. Melting away, aren't I, over there? Right. I'm going to look into the front viewport. This one. Right, cylinder. Okay. And this one, I want to untick smooth, so it looks like that. So that's the difference. 1, 6. I want. Pulled out my headphones. Where was I? Maybe cylinder. Can't quite see. Yes. -20 -55 with 2 high segments. Right. I'm going to type that in as well. And 20 -55. 2 high segments. Right, there we go. And we created an extra cylinder. There we go. All right. 20 minus 55. 2 height segments. And then, oh, fantastic. I didn't see the positioning, but it's just. I know we want 0 on there. We want it kind of like in the center. And. Why is my mouse doing that? Alright, we'll just push it along here. There we go. And what we're going to do now is convert this to an edit poly. We're never going to see that face. Delete that. And we are going to select this face on the top. Inset it by 5. Bevel. By and a -1. That'll do for that. Shift copy this face out. Call it turret. I haven't named this. Barrel. And I haven't named this. Gun. I don't know. Really bad naming conventions there, but we know what they are. Alright. So I'm gonna scale this down. About 50%. Maybe just inside of here. It's still inside of a barrel. Alright, so we can't see it. What we're going to do then, select the face. I can see it's selected, though I don't have that X-ray mode on. And I'm going to extrude this by 300 centimeters. And I'm going to select, just going to press edit poly. So I've got the whole object selected. I'm going to put on a new modifier called Turbo Smooth. And it kind of melts it first because we've got smoothing groups not enabled. Do it by the smoothing group because the cap has a different smoothing group to the side. Now it's just basically adds extra topology, and a good thing about Turbo Smooth is whatever you Turbo Smooth, it'll always end up in quads. So before that, that was an Engon. Turbo Smooth fixes that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each. So now that's done, and next thing we want to do is we can either put on an edit poly or just convert it into an edit poly. I need self-selection. Double click this. Chamfer by 25. For some reason that's broke the smoothing groups here. I'm going to click that. Click auto smooth. There we go. Now we've got these. I'm going to click extrude. And we want this by their local normal. Not by polygon. Not by group. But by local normal. And we're just going to do 5 on that. And that gets us this. Now, do another thing. So when I've got these selected, but I want the adjacent faces either side to grow. There we got them. Just slide them back. There you go. And next is ring select them. Connect. And I'm just going to slide that along to about. Yeah. I think, no, I'll do what I wrote out. $60. And I'm going to select these faces. Extrude them out by 7.5. Yeah. And again. Connect here. By 2. Top. Base mode. And extrude. I'll bevel these out. Alright. So 20 centimeters minus 2 gives us the eye in sight of the tank. And I'm going to flatten them along the y-axis. So, where is that? Not along the y-axis, the z-axis anyway. So I don't want that. Don't want to see that. Need to see edit jump. Oh, it is the y-axis though. Just because of the viewport that we drew the cylinder out on. And then I'm going to select these outer edges by chamfer. When you over chamfer, you start to get some interesting shapes. I'm going to pull this back to 1.5. Thick. Yeah. Just select these faces. Turn on the scale tool. Get them down just a little bit. And then extrude just a good amount. So see down. And I have somehow I don't know when this happened. It's going to be interesting to rewatch this in a video. I have deleted the top. But you know what? "28 minutes in. File. Save as. Tank +2. Open up the one I did earlier. So let's fix this smoothing groups here. There we go. Apart from the top here. All right. So that's what you should have now. That is a real basic turret. Definitely missing a few elements compared to the concept here. So, you got this. I mean, to be honest, you could kind of copy out the tracks here. Kind of put those in, just with a bit of rotation. Again, that's just a box with an extra edge in, pulled out. That's, again, a box, target welded down, just pulled up. That's a cylinder. That's a box with a bit cut out. Definitely all things, and then this just looks like a cylinder, sort of little exhaust. So, if you wanted to try and go for that in here, and but at the very least, I want you all to have a tank that looks very similar to this. And other than that, yeah, if you've got any questions, I guess that's the end of the video series, so let me know. Okay, thanks for watching.